I'm Elsa Thiaville, and I will be presenting the paper on virtual avatars as children companions for a VR-based educational platform. How should they look like? This work was made in collaboration with UCD, LERO, the Irish Software Research Centre, Zico, which is an Irish startup working for online safety for children, and Centralant. If you're a parent or a member of society, education is highly important and large amounts of money are spent in this field. Especially with the COVID crisis, we saw that education was clearly a priority in terms of quality and access. And VR in education has the potential of becoming a game changer. Virtual companions can be used as teaching assistants and support the learner's educational journey. However, getting the best of VR in education requires to get the proper environment, as the virtual world can have a profound impact on the quality of learning. In the gaming context, the correlation between character appearance and gaming outcome has been well studied. However, to the best of our knowledge, it has not been explored yet in education with children. This is why this paper studies the impact of age, gender, and general appearance of virtual companions on 9 to 13-year-old Irish children. Based on the literature, we expect first to have better results when the students will be paired with virtual companions of opposite biological gender and same age. Second, we expect no significant difference between human-like and robotic virtual companions. To test our hypothesis, we paired the students with different virtual companions in 2 different experiments, and we measure spatial presence, engagement, and ecological validity thanks to a questionnaire. The overall performance is measured with more objective metrics, such as the time to complete a task and the number of errors. Our virtual environment is a 2-meter square room where all the tasks are already prepared. The choice of the task was very difficult, as if the task was too simple, then the students wouldn't need a VC to help them. On the contrary, if the task was too hard, we would see differences amongst the students based on their grade level or on their knowledge. To flatten those differences that would induce bias in our results, we would need to have access to a larger number of students. However, when it comes to schools and students, it's very hard to have access to a larger number of students in the same conditions. Therefore, after discussing with a psychologist specialized in education, we decided to rely on playful but nevertheless challenging tasks. The students had 10 minutes inside the headset to complete all of the 3 tasks. This is a video of the environment before the experiment starts, which is why there is no virtual companion and a start button. As you can see, all the tasks are prepared, with paintings hanging on the walls and cards lying on the floor. The first task is a very simple task, where the student has to count the number of paintings hanging on the wall and indicate its number by putting the green sphere in the corresponding bin. The goal of this task is to familiarize children with, first, the virtual environment, second, the presence of the virtual companion, and third, the interaction mechanisms. As you can see, when the students will grab the sphere and put it in a wrong bin, the bin will turn red. However, when you put it on the correct bin, it turns green, which means that you have the correct answer. The second task is a fetching task. The students have to find objects and put them in the corresponding bins. All of the objects are lying on a wooden table in front of the student inside the virtual environment. To encourage the students to ask the virtual companion for help, scientific names were used for 2 objects, for the cucumber and for the onion. Just like in the previous task, the bin turned green or red upon success or failure. In this video, when you grab the binoculars and put them in the binocular bin, it turns green. It is the correct answer. However, when you grab the cucumber, you don't see any cucumber bin, which means that you have to choose between the Allium cepa and the Cucumis sativus bin. The Allium cepa turns red, it means it's the Cucumis sativus bin. In this task, we also reported the strategy used by the students. Would they ask for help or try to solve it on their own? The last task is a memory card game. As I said previously, you have only 10 minutes to complete the 3 tasks, which means that if the student takes too long to complete the 2 first tasks, he or she will have less time to complete the last task, where the goal is to find as many pairs as possible in the remaining time. The student inside the environment can't see its legs or feet. Therefore, we decided to color the back of the card in green when they step on it. That way, they know where they're stepping and they can select the right card. When 2 cards are selected and turned, if they match, they stay turned. Otherwise, they will turn back, and you have to select different cards. You can ask the virtual companion at any time for help, as it knows the position of all the cards. The first experiment aimed at evaluating the impact of age and gender. Therefore, 24 children, aged from 9 to 12, were randomly assigned to a virtual companion of either same age and same biological gender, or same age and different biological gender, or different age and same biological gender, or different age and different biological gender. Before the experiment, they all followed a tutorial to learn how to use the headset. It was the Oculus Quest tutorial. Then they spent 10 minutes inside a virtual environment with the virtual companion. This was followed by a questionnaire and then an informal feedback where we spoke about their general feeling of the experiment. The 4 avatars were designed with Make Human. We wanted their appearance to be based on a very common Irish genotype. This is why they all have dark hair and light color eyes. The avatars were animated in Unity, and male or female voices were used. To react to the children questions, a Wizard of Oz approach was used. It means that someone was in the same room as the students, hearing all of what was said to the virtual companion. That way, when the students would ask a question, that person would be able to type the answer on a computer that would transmit it to the headset, and then those answers would be spoken by the avatar inside the headset. Our result indicates that we have significant differences between the SADG and DADG condition for spatial presence, but also significant differences between same age, different gender, and same age, same gender for spatial presence. The same significant differences appear for engagement. In our hypothesis, we divided the groups in 2 categories, age or gender. However, when we analyzed those results, we saw no significant differences. This is why we decided to keep the group separately to analyze the results. However, keeping the group separately only shows that we have a partial support for the first hypothesis, which is a stronger sense of spatial presence and engagement when the students were paired with a virtual companion of the opposite biological gender. It also means that we have partial support for our second hypothesis, which was a better performance when the students were paired with a virtual companion of the same age. It was very unfortunate to note that we had very little interaction with the virtual companion inside the headsets. This experiment shows that we have no clear advantage for any of the conditions, but the condition same age, different gender perform better in 3 dimensions: spatial presence, engagement, and ecological validity. Thanks to the informal feedback that we had from students, we knew that the virtual companion was helpful, but it was very disturbing for them to hear the typing. It means that in further experiments, it would be interesting to integrate the speech of the avatar inside the headset. Our second experiment aimed at evaluating the influence of the virtual companion's visual appearance. Robotic avatars and human-like avatars were used. To indicate the biological gender of the robot, a slight color change was used. A common stereotype in Europe is to use pink for female and blue for male, which is what we used. Based on the results from the first experiment, our 13 participants were paired with a robot or a human avatar in the same age, different gender condition, because it's the condition that offered the best subjective metrics in the first experiment. Our results show that we have no significant difference between the human and the robot condition. However, we had few participants for this experiment. It would be interesting to confirm our results in an experiment with more participants. To conclude, our two experiments were designed with children aged between 9 and 13 years old that were randomly assigned to a group. In the first experiment, that evaluates the impact of biological gender and age, the students were paired with avatars of same age, different gender, same age, same gender, different age, same gender, or different age, different gender. In the second experiment, that evaluates the impact of the virtual companion's visual appearance, they were paired with human-like or robot avatars in the same age, different gender condition. In both experiments, we have no clear winner. However, there is a trend towards a stronger sense of spatial presence, engagement, and ecological validity when the students were interacting with a human-like virtual companion of same age and different gender. In the future, experiments with more academic tasks would be required to confirm our results. We would also need to have more participants and to integrate speech of the virtual companion inside the headset. Thank you for your attention, and don't hesitate to contact us to any of the email addresses listed below if you have any questions.